Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Man, I'm pretty sure that if you're stealing, causing a big scene and getting the manager to come out is the last thing you want to do, especially attacking the employee. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Customer gets mad at me for accusing her of stealing while she's stealing. One of my first jobs was for a popular U.S. chain store that sells furniture, candles, etc., lots of home goods. I live in a small, kind of crappy town, and next door was a discount store that sells designer brands for discounts. It's not uncommon for people to purchase things next door like blankets and such, and then try to match them to our other decor. We're very used to it, and our policy, since the store does not allow carts, was to ask people if they wanted us to hold their larger items behind the cash counter in the center of the store while they shop. If they say no, that's fine, but we still have to ask. This woman came in with a cart from next door with a huge bagged bed set, comforter, pillowcases, etc. She goes immediately to the pillow wall. I think very little of it, except to be very nervous as she goes through glassware. But it's a Sunday morning, and I'm the only one on duty besides my manager in the back. There's another couple looking at candles, but they've already been in a few minutes, and I asked them if they needed help. I walk over to the woman with the cart and smile, looking at her comforter set. Me. Hi, is there anything I can help you find? Her. No, this is what I want. Me. All right, do you want me to hold that comforter set at the checkout? Shopping carts aren't usually allowed in here because of all the glass and delicate items on display. Her. No, I won't break things. Me. Okay. My manager's policy is not to make a fuss, so as long as they don't break anything, I'm not going to force her to remove the cart. I'm behind the cash counter, and it's centrally located so everyone can see me if they need help. I go about straightening things up and going over the shipment for tomorrow so I know where I need to make room. Every so often, I look up and track where the customers are in case they need me. The couple doesn't seem to, but a few times I catch the woman staring at me and ask if she needs help. It's always no. After the fourth time this happened, she wheels her cart over to the check stand and asks to speak to my manager. Confused, I agree and call her in the office and ask her to come up to the check stand. She comes out, and at this point, the woman lets loose. Her. Your worker is very rude to me. Manager. I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? Her. She asked me to give her my bed and has been staring at me for the last 20 minutes like I'm a criminal. I'm not a thief. Manager. I'm sorry, ma'am. It's our policy to ask if big items can be kept behind the counter for convenience, but also for safety reasons. Her. I want her to be fired. Mind you, I'm standing right there the entire time, just shocked. Manager. I'm sorry, I can't fire her for following policy. Her. But she's treating me like a criminal. I do not steal. Manager, turning to me. What have you been doing? Me. I show her the shipping manifest and the notes I'd been writing for 20 minutes about prep for when more employees show up and I have time. I've been here doing this, but I've also looked up every so often to see if anyone needs me. Manager. I see. Ma'am, I'm sorry if there's been some misunderstanding, but it sounds like she's been doing her job. I won't fire her for that. Her. I'm leaving. If she's not fired, I won't buy here. My manager just kind of looks at her like she's a bit off and apologizes again, but makes it clear that she's not going to change her mind about me. The woman starts wheeling her cart toward the exit, which would have been fine if I hadn't seen one of our tags dangling from the side of the cart. I know she didn't purchase anything. I nudge my manager and point to her before she gets to the door. Manager. Ma'am, wait a moment. The customer stops and turns around, a smug smile on her face. She probably thought that my manager was going to give in with her complaint. My manager walks over and reaches into the cart, pulling out the tagged item and finding a few more pillows hidden under the other things. Manager. Can I see the receipt for these? Her. I bought them days ago. I don't have a receipt. Manager. When exactly? If you paid with a credit card, I can pull up the transaction. Her. Smugly. I bought them last Friday with cash. Manager. You're sure it was last Friday? Her. Of course. Manager. Nodding. I see. Ma'am, these pillows only arrived with our shipment on Monday? I'm gonna have to ask you to stay until I check the security cameras. Her looking around and realizing there are cameras everywhere that are kind of easy to miss in the industrial type lighting we have. You accuse me of stealing too? This is a bad business. A very bad business. I'm telling everybody. Manager. This will only take a moment. My manager takes the potentially stolen merch and leaves it in the cash stand away from the customer. The other couple comes up and wants to purchase the mirror they picked out and some candles, so I ring them up. The other customer just bolts out the front door without her paid-for merch. After the other customers are gone and the store's empty, my manager comes back up. Manager, yeah, that stuff was being stolen. The security footage confirmed it. We have a clear angle of her stuffing those pillows into her cart while you weren't looking. I don't know if she thought accusing us of treating her like a thief was guilt or she thought it would distract us. Me. It almost did. And our second story. You are a brown guy at this gas station in the evening, so you are working here. Cast. My friend Raj, 29, name so that people can guess his ethnicity. Raj's friend Mike, 30. Karen, late 40s maybe? Bored to death shop assistant, 20s. So my friend Raj works for a very huge global conglomerate in management and travels around the U.S. a lot. However, his house is in the suburbs of a famous college town in Texas. He was out of town for the whole week last week and came back yesterday evening. Once at the airport, his colleague and friend, Mike, picked him up as a favor to drop him off at home. Once they were almost, Raj realizes his fridge was nearly empty and he needed some food, so they stopped by a gas station to get some frozen foods and some small snacks. Raj is always dressed sharp, always. It's how he was taught since he was a kid. He was royalty, literally. His name is in my country's list of people with royal lineage. So he's always clean, but a very, very, very nice guy, unless you piss him off. One of his revenge stories can make even John Wick want to take him as a disciple. Story for another time, but even the half story I know made me scared of this guy for a bit. So anyway, Raj and Mike went to the store, got some stuff. Raj was carrying a laptop case in his hand, dressed in a suit. There was a guy behind the counter who looked so bored, I'm sure he would rather go back home to play on his laptop instead of being on his phone. And enter Karen. Raj only said she looked a little older, not how she dressed, but that she had a ton of makeup. Raj didn't even know when she entered the store or when she came to find him. She had a mask on. And so did Raj and Mike. Anyway, she came up to Raj and immediately asked him where a certain drink was. It seems she usually buys it here, but today she couldn't find any. Raj was confused, looked at her. Here's the gist of the conversation as said by Raj. Raj, I'm sorry, what? I don't know, I don't come here usually, so I don't know where it is. Karen, ugh, another lazy college student. You're getting paid to help me, just do your job. Yep, she assumed because he was brown, he was a part-timer at the store, working in a suit, holding his laptop bag and shopping cart. Raj now understood what happened. Sorry, I don't work here. I'm also here to shop. There's a guy behind the counter, maybe he can help. Karen, help me now. I know you need this job, so don't force me to call your manager and get you fired. Stop being lazy. Raj, now thinking maybe his mask made it hard for her to understand, pulled his mask down a bit and said a little loudly, Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm also shopping. I had a long flight and I'm tired. Please leave me alone. Karen, you brown guys are always lazy. I'm asking you for the last time before I call your manager to get you fired. Get my drinks right now. At this point, Raj was pissed, but he looked at her calmly. Raj, loudly this time, sure, let me help you. Then he looked at the assistant behind the counter and called out loudly, Hey dude, can you come here? This lady needs some help shopping, but I think she has some problem with hearing and sight. She thinks I work here and can't seem to hear even when I explained I don't multiple times. Then he looked at Karen and again loudly said, Don't worry, someone will help you so that you won't trip and fall. Karen was red in the face, just looked at Raj angrily and walked away. The bored shop assistant didn't even know what happened, and while all this was happening, it seems Mike actually paid for a drink and came back running and was enjoying the show while sipping his drink. And he was also laughing the whole way home. Even when they got back to his place and working during the night, he randomly burst out laughing, it seems. Raj proved his point of Karen's ignorance and embarrassed her. 2-for-1 deal. And our last story. I think the HOA is embezzling our dues. So I live in a HOA in a 10-year-old neighborhood that's still under construction. We're supposed to have a pool, a splash pad, a playground, picnic area, a 5-acre park, and a few other things. Currently, we have a splash pad that's been off since before COVID, even though it's year-round, a small playground and picnic area right next to it, which have also been closed, but this was because of COVID. We don't have a park or a pool, and the map design layout we were all provided doesn't have any space allocated for those amenities, although it does have space allocated for all kinds of future builds, nor have we been told when they will be built. We just got our HOA statement for the upcoming year, along with a breakdown of where all the money and our fees is going. Out of $500,000 going towards HOA fees this year, they have over $300,000, specifically 70% marked as other expenses. This isn't even administration or anything, because services like common area lawn care and admin are itemized. This is a huge amount to be unaccounted for. I emailed the head of the HOA for the neighborhood about it, as did a lot of my neighbors. I got a reply and just got brushed off. I passed your email along. We'll have someone get back to you. Now, this is a management company, not residents, as the neighborhood's still under construction and it hasn't been handed off to residents yet. We get next to nothing for our HOA fees, and they can't even tell us where the money's going. Edit. To clarify, I'm concerned with where the money is going now, not so much that the rest of the amenities haven't been installed yet. If we had amenities being built or upkeep on existing amenities, I would be more understanding, provided it was itemized out. Update. I got myself on the board just to start to provide transparency in what the developer's doing with the current expenses. We are his bank. Developer-owned HOAs are a different animal. Anyway, the money stopped missing. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.